Martinsville Speedway, one of NASCAR's oldest tracks, if not the oldest one. The roots of short track racing, tempers flaring, bumping and banging. Those are its roots. You can find them here at Martinsville. And its trophy, the Grandfather's Clock, is in my opinion, one of the most, if not the best trophy ever given out in NASCAR. I mean, it's a damn Grandfather's Clock. How historic can you get? The track epitomizes history. It's come a long way, and it just went for a huge period of transition last year when it just added artificial illumination to allow night racing at the track. Now this is something that the fans, including myself, have wanted to see for such a long time. What with all these rain delays that have plagued several races these past few years, screwing up a lot of family plans and caused a lot of upset fans to voice their displeasure to the sports officials, especially when said race has been rained out in recent years. I mean, a clear example of this is fellow short track Bristol Motor Speedway. Its spring race, which was traditionally held around mid-March in 2015, was pushed back to mid-April due to NASCAR wanting to change things up every freaking year for no apparent reason. However, many fans speculate that this race was being changed because of the recent rainouts at the track and its surroundings around this time of the year, especially at practice and qualifying. But because April is already springtime, the season of spring is already in full swing, it rains even more at that time of the month, as we have seen even more rainouts at Bristol. I mean, I know Bristol is popularly known as Thunder Valley, but come on, 3 of the last 4 spring racers at the venue have been rained out. Like, how is that even freaking possible? How is NASCAR letting this happen? But back to the topic. Martinsville track officials has said that the installation of lights was done in order to bring more schedule flexibility in the event that Mother Nature decides to, attend a NASCAR race. And we all unfortunately know how much of a NASCAR fan Mother Nature is. But here's the catch. NASCAR has not yet scheduled a night race at Martinsville, and they haven't opened up on the topic as far as I'm concerned, which pretty much intrigues me and was the main reason why I decided to make this video on. When will we ever see a night race at Martinsville? Well, I have a few reasonings as to why NASCAR doesn't want to night race at Martinsville for now, but those will be shown later in the video, don't worry about it. So if the race is rained out and can't start on time, NASCAR should be forced to push back the race to nighttime and somehow please the fans and me with a night race at Martinsville. Treat them to a night of short track racing on the old days under the lights. I mean, short track racing under the lights, I've seen a lot of dirt track racing to know how that feels. It feels amazing. But I haven't seen a lot of races postponed at Martinsville as far as I can remember, aside from the 2015 Chase race and the 2010 Spring race, so I guess Martinsville is one of those races that doesn't get hit with that much rain at the time of the year NASCAR events are held at the venue. Now, rescheduling might be an option, you feel me? But not rescheduling like realignment, the famous NASCAR realignments that pisses off a lot of fans. Because, I mean, we already hear the news on the Chase race at Charlotte, which, due to excessive rainouts, it was forced to race on Sunday afternoon back-to-back years, and thus, NASCAR fearing another rainout, they decided to just push back the race to Sunday afternoon from this year onwards, hopefully. Now, so you think that just because they reschedule a NASCAR race around 5 to 6 months before it's running, you're saying that it's a possibility that they reschedule Martinsville's late October, early November race, so it can be a night race? I don't know, to be honest. But you see, NASCAR reschedules races usually when days are rain out or fans get more comfortable with watching a race at a different time of the day than the original. So there's a pattern here. Sometimes it's a combination of both, but it's more a pattern. So for example, Richmond's spring race in 2015, it was originally rescheduled for Saturday night, but it got rained out. So the race was postponed for Sunday afternoon. And turns out the fans loved it, and NASCAR decided to keep the race as a Sunday afternoon race for 2016 onwards. So my guess is, unless NASCAR race at Martinsville gets, forcefully pushed back to nighttime and the fans give positive feedback, I think we won't see a Martinsville night race for a while.